Councilmember Khamis?
Sorry, Mary. To be or not to be, right? Sorry, I'm just getting a little tired.
A lot of groans on that one, Johnny.
So I don't need a study to know that jobs drive the need for housing. That I don't really need. But in our city, we have a job to housing imbalance. And this is not true of all the cities around us. This report that was generated ignores the fact that other cities in the county have been creating jobs left and right, and San Jose is acting as their bedroom community here. And this is why every day we have a net reduction in our population by 20%. This report also neglects the fact that we have many taxes and fees that other cities are not charging. We have a housing impact fee that other cities aren't charging. We have business taxes. We actually have a business tax. We just increased a couple years ago through Measure G that other cities don't have. We have inclusionary housing fees that other cities don't have. San Jose adopted the wage to be speeded up above where the minimum wage to be speeded up above where faster than other cities around us have. San Jose shouldn't be taking on even more responsibility on building housing when other cities around us aren't doing their fair share. This is my opinion. When it comes to challenges in our community, people think that the first answer that we got to jump to here is let's tax people. That's the way we can fix all the problems. Let's tax. Our favorite villain is always business, right? Because businesses, nothing happens. You know, it goes. Businesses have to pay it, and who cares what happens, right? Well, businesses won't want to come locate here. They may not want to create the desired job help. We won't want to help us fix the jobs housing imbalance if we don't make businesses welcome here. Just in the last few years, we've had several taxes that have been imposed on businesses and residents alike. And I just showed you some of them, but there's even more for businesses because they've had Measure G, which is the business tax. They've had Measure B, which is a quarter-cent sales tax. They've had Measure B again from the county VTA, which is a half-cent sales tax. We had Measure A, and now and that doesn't include all the parcel taxes that have been put on by schools and all the other districts, and so there's a lot more taxes. And what ends up happening is once you stick businesses with taxes, they either don't open businesses or they pass the costs on to the customer. So whenever you talk about business, you're talking about increasing the cost to consumers. On this ballot, we have Measure V, Measure T, which we just spoke about. We have a Measure A, which extends the county's sales tax. And so I don't need, I know that everybody's talking about a nexus study. I really don't need to be sold that businesses create a need for housing. I really don't. I just think that San Jose is doing their part, and I don't need San Jose to be less business competitive in the end. And that's why I won't be voting to support anything that's being discussed here, whether it's to be or not to be, with or without. I won't support it because it's not fair for San Jose to take up 100% of the burden while other cities aren't doing their fair share. And I think in the end, if we keep taxing, if we keep making it harder and harder to do business, we'll end up having no mom and pop shops because it's just too hard. The burden of opening a store will be too hard. We'll end up with nothing but franchises for restaurants instead of mom and pop shops, and so I'm really afraid that we continue looking for quote unquote the answer to the solutions here for our housing problems. We keep going back, and the only answer seems to be taxes. I spouted off several of them. There's even more. I showed you another slide that has even more taxes. And so taxes are not the answer all the time. Let's look at other ways that we can solve our problems. I will not be supporting a study. I don't need a study. Yes, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have to respond. First, I give you the fact that...
But there is another week to consider this, Councilor Castro.
Well, I could, but
We actually are not going to go forward today.
I give you that I told you at the very beginning, I already believe that housing, jobs impact housing. There's no doubt in my mind. When you create jobs, you create needs for housing. So I don't need a study to tell me that. That's why I don't want to waste money. I really, honestly, there is a nexus. I concur without actually going out to spend money, whatever $100,000 that it's going to take to do this study, to tell me that when you create a job, you create a need for housing. However, when you have that information, what are you going to do with it? You're going to raise taxes again, and that's what this whole other idea is all about. And I would rather save us the time, effort, and the staff time and the money rather than going down this avenue. That's why I've never supported it before, because if they tell you that 5 cents per another half-cent sales tax is gonna matter, is that something you're going to go with, or is that something you're not going to go with? The only thing that they can come back with is more taxes, is all I'm saying. The only possible conclusions that any study is going to come back with is more taxes. And because I feel that other cities around us aren't doing their fair share, I don't feel that we even need to raise taxes on us and our own businesses. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, any other comments before we vote on the motion? All right, on the motion, let's vote. It's Councilmember Parras' motion. The motion passes. We'll move on now to item 4.2, to actions related